Yeah.
It's an eye now.
There we go.
So you get stabbed in the eye there at the very end. Now, tell us a little bit about what your character thinks of her would-be rescuer. He's not exactly Prince Charming, you know? I mean,
No, we didn't really get to see enough of his attitude in that clip, but he's a hot mess. He's kind of her best bet. Based on his surroundings, but we're not really sure who sent him, and he certainly doesn't have the attitude of a typical, soldier or government employee of any kind.
I think what you're trying to say is he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's a big dick.
Now he's also, the vibe that I kind of sense from your characters, because I've seen the movie in its entirety, is that he is almost sort of like the Han Solo to your Princess Leia, that sort of like, that reluctant rescuer.
I was afraid to make that comparison because it's holy ground, You could like take off your sandals and tread carefully. I know, it really is sacrilege, but I was sort of alluding to, that adversarial, sexually charged, tit for tat kind of thing. I was like, it's like one of my favorite films growing up in the same size places. And it rhymes with Schmar Wars. But I was always a little afraid of the comparison.
Right.
But there's definitely, it's the guy that's about to get frozen forever, and you say, I love you, and he says, I know. It's like, young ladies out there, run from the narcissist. It looks fun, run.
So, tell me a little bit about some of these, the bad guys in this movie. It's not... It just seems like there are two pretty evil Scotsmen in this movie. It's what Braveheart did on the outside for the Scottish, this movie might kind of take.
We've taken them back.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, these guys are really, there's one that's a complete nut and one that's evil, but it seems like he's kind of got his shit together. Tell us a little bit about these two villains and your altercations
Evil
with them.
Scotsmen.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we just thought we needed to put evil Scotsmen on the map. We kind of have that market cornered with villains. But no, they did a great
Agnes in
job.
space and everything.
Exactly. That's a scene that amazingly was cut, Agnes in space.
It'll be on the Blu-ray.
Yeah. No, they were great. And, Joseph Gilgan is basically out of control. There's a lot of fans in Great Britain. He was on a few really popular series there, and he's so, yay! And fans here, apparently, yay! He's amazing, and he's, been fun to watch him handle the press, too, because he's such a wild card, and he's always like, well, Lockout was great, except I couldn't get Maggie Grace out of my bedroom. I was like, stop, Maggie, stop, get out of my bathtub. So, I had to deal with those, questions. But, he was also, I remember he was always wandering around the set with, he had like a rotten banana at one point in his trousers. Whoops! Stuff like that. He was always harassing the
I was doing
crew.
the exact same thing back in the green room.
It didn't go over as well. It's just it's so charming when it's him doing it because he has this innocence about him.
Charisma.
Well, he's Irish actually. Yeah.
Really? That's funny. I'm Irish, I guess. I just don't have that gene.
He's
so,
adorable.
tell me a little bit about these two directors that made this film. Now, it's not often that people work with two directors, on a picture. What were these guys like? Tell the crowd a little bit about, what these guys brought to the table.
Well, yeah, I think I was a little nervous, at first, that there's two directors. You get kind of like, oh, am I going to be in a tennis match direction? What do I do? But they've worked together forever, and they have such an incredible relationship and shorthand, and it was a great experience. I mean, they each bring, their own kind of thing to the table, and also just seeing what they created, like the short that I saw that they did together before I signed on was so incredible. They've created this kind of bat cave back in Dublin, and they have, all their special effects crew there. So they really created such a beautiful world for this film, and it's been fun with each progressive cut to see it grow and expand.
Sweet. If you guys have any questions, if you want to start lining up with the mics, we'll open it up to audience questions in a few moments. But on the note of the two directors, now was there one that was just there to kind of do the technical camera stuff, and one that was there for the actors? I know, like the Hughes brothers operate kind of like that. How did these guys
I don't think it's so really delineated. I mean, they've both are really, open and communicative and easy to talk to. So,
tell us a little bit about where you filmed Lockout.
we filmed in Belgrade in Serbia. So, we'd go to work when it was dark and come home when it was dark, and it was in this, soundstage where they basically built a spaceship for us. So that was a pretty amazing day when we showed up to that. But yeah, it was pretty trippy.
What does one do for fun and on nights off in Belgrade?
Well, we didn't have too many nights off, but on Sundays, I learned tennis, which was the perfect place to do it, right? The whole country's pretty into it at this point. And where I learned to play was supposedly on Vlad the Impaler's grave. It was like this old Roman ruins, and there's red clay court, so it was pretty cool. So that was my counterpoint to living on a spaceship.
Now, you're obviously, this is not your first Luc Besson rodeo. Luc Besson is the producers on the film. Can you talk a little bit about sort of just being part of that company, and being, you did Taken for them, and you've done this. What's it sort of been like to just work with that guy
It's been amazing. It's actually my third film. We just wrapped Taken 2, so third film with Europa. And it's great. I mean, Luc, he's such an incredible track record. Knows his way around an action film for sure. And he's co-written and produced each of these. So it's been such a godsend to have him. And also, it's a simpler process when, there's a group of people that's worked together for a long time, and it's not every question submitted to a panel of people to talk it out and decide. It's great, and it's a smaller community in France, so the crew's pretty small. It's a lot of the same people, and that part's really fun. It starts to feel like kind of our little Europa family traveling around Europe together.
Well, the fact that the movie is done on a budget and not with the sort of resources that a lot of big Hollywood movies get, I thought the special effects in the film looked fantastic. How much of the final film have you actually seen by this point?
Oh, I've seen it in its entirety.
Yeah.
They've been great. I've seen a couple of the kind of rougher cut, and then the new one, and so much fun. Actually, we had a little screening. Luke set up a screening for me to bring my mom to, which was really fun.